Weathered bit and brace in hand, a small maple twig gripped between my teeth just like my dad used to, I set out to tap the trees and thus commenced the process of syrup making. Late February hints of the great vernal awakening, the sun rising higher each day, warming the tops of the maple trees on my property in rural Maine. 20 degrees Fahrenheit at night, 40 degrees during the day, stimulates the flow of sap up to the terminal branches. With a couple spigots tapped into the tree about 4 feet off the ground, I am able to catch a bit of the slightly sweet life juice on its way up the tree in the morning, and then again as it flows back into the roots while the sun sinks below the horizon. Recalling that first sip of maple sap as my lips catch the first drop, I continue the tradition I began when I could barely reach the tap. When the sun smiles warm, the big old producers, centenarians if they're a day, will fill the repurposed 1-gallon milk jugs twice. In a good year, I can get out 70 taps over the 35 or so maple trees. Statistics and yearly totals are kept in the same journal my dad started in the 1970s. Fresh from a tour in Vietnam, he tapped the maple trees bordering his apartment along Mass Ave in Cambridge, using a ladder for each tap to prevent tampering. Unlike most maple sugar producers, I'll happily tap a Norway, red, and silver, as well as the preferred Acer Saccharum, or sugar maple. Collecting on these good days is a benevolent burden, a 5-gallon jug slung over my shoulder weighing about 45 pounds. Over 20 acres the trees are scattered, and multiple trips are needed to bring the sap to my 50-gallon holding barrels. This particular season, I and friends carried just over 5,000 pounds of sap to the rusty old homemade barrel stove I burn off with. Dead pine is my fuel of choice. In fact, leftover slab wood from the sawmill down at Billy's, and it burns hot and fast, and I feed the beast as frequently as necessary, 20 minutes between loads if I'm feeling motivated. The hotter the fire, the more efficient and steady the evaporation. Early in the season, 39 gallons of water have to evaporate off of 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. A face full of the delicately sweet steam will always evoke for me the gentle call of the mourning dove in the evening, hands blackened with ash, and the old checkered wool coat a little sticky with sugar. I'll just pour this into our syrup. I recently found this article that was done on my dad in 1980 on maple syrup making. Turns out the sap doesn't fall too far from the spigot there, does it? Kind of funny how that works.